the nature of creation. There is pure consciousness, which is Brahman or which is Atman. And then for whatever reason, we don't know what reason. Some call it God's will, some call it Maya, some call it a natural process. The world of mind is created. From the existence of consciousness, the world of mind is created. Once this world of mind is created, it is known as nature. So first is nature, then there is universal mind, there is universal ego, and there are 5 constituent elements. And from there, the sense organs are formed and this world is formed. Once you get into meditation, you actually see things like that. If you study Raj Yoga by Patanjali, you actually perceive things like that. As you go deeper into meditation, you see that, for example, here is this pen. So first, when you start meditating on this, then you see that, oh, this is actually constituted by 5 fundamental forces of nature, not according to physics, but the 5 forces as taken in by my 5 senses. That means you have stripped this pen of its external character and you have gone deeper into it. And then when you strip that too away, then you realize that, oh, so everything is ultimately mine. And when you strip that too, then you find that it's nature. And when you can strip that nature too, then you see that, oh, there is nothing more to be discussed. There is only silence. And that silence is pure consciousness. Now this is being discussed here. See, the things we have been discussing, they are slightly subtle. They may sound difficult, but these are the basic truths. So it talks about this particular series of creation. Here is this world, and this world is grasped by my senses. Says that senses are subtle. That's why they can grasp this world. Like subtle things grasp the gross. Gross cannot grasp the subtle. You can know 2 with the help of 1. But if you know only 2, you cannot know 1. If you know 1, you can know 2. But if you know 2, you cannot know 1. The subtle thing grasps the more gross thing. So through body and mind, you can never know Atman, because Atman is more subtle. If you want to, supposing I want to measure this table and I get a big pole to measure it, I cannot measure it. To measure this table, I need something smaller with which I can break this up in units. Just like that, to know the gross, you need to have subtle. It says, since the senses can grasp the world, senses are more subtle. And these senses themselves are constituted of 5 subtle elements. That's how different philosophies like Sankhya and Yoga and Vedanta explain. Compared to those 5 objects, 5 subtle elements, mind is superior. And intellect is superior to that mind. And that mind, there is that universal mind which is superior to all this. There is a individual mind and there is universal mind. Universal mind is superior to all this. Compared to that universal mind, there is that mother nature which is superior. And beyond that nature lies pure consciousness. There everything stops. There is nothing beyond consciousness. That is why one name of God in Hindu religion is Swayambhu. One who exists by itself. Like somebody asks, who is Father of God? Father of God is God. And who is the grandfather of God? God himself. Because he alone exists. He is Swayambhu. There, everything, there is only stillness. That is the ultimate state. No question about that. There everything stops. I just simplified, I told you in very simple words that what you experience in the depths of meditation is pure consciousness. And you also see this world which is not pure consciousness. So what is the relationship between the two? Then they find that once you start meditating and you go deeper into meditation, then you realize that first is these external objects, then there is senses, and then you find that both these are constituted out of subtle elements. There are five of them. Shabda, Sparsa, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. The sound effect, the touch, the sight, the taste, and the smell. These are the 5 subtle elements. And from these 5 subtle elements, everything else is constituted. Says above this is mind, and above that is intellect, and above everything is the universal mind. And beyond universal mind is the mother nature itself, which is constituted of 3 qualities known as Sattva Guna, Rajogun, and Tamogun. It's a very interesting discussion that nature is constituted of just 3 qualities, and those 3 qualities, when they mix and intermix, they give rise to the universal mind. From that universal mind, slowly everything flows out and fans out. So this pain, although it has 5 properties, it has some smell, it has some taste, and if I rub it, it has some sound, and it has some color, and you can see some way it appears blue. But essentially it is product of the cosmic mind, the universal mind. So, in Buddhism also there is Vijnanavad, where they talk about all this. Everything that you see, the microphone that you see, once you start meditating, you find that, yes, it has a hardness about it. When you touch, there is hardness about it. Now, hardness is sparsha, the touch, as we mentioned. So, essentially, it has 5 subtle elements, the 5 subtle properties that constitute this microphone. And when you strip this microphone of those 5 subtle elements or 5 properties, then what remains is the individual mind, then cosmic mind, and finally the 3 qualities of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Beyond that is pure consciousness. So he says, beyond that there is nothing else. How do I believe all this? Yeah, it's a fact. That Purush, that pure consciousness, it is present in every person. And the wise sages, that means those who have purified their mind, they can experience it directly. Where? In the depths of their mind, where this grossness, the grossness of the senses cannot reach. Once your mind becomes fine and very fine, only then you can perceive it directly.